Hello, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be going over 3 ACT math questions. For all these problems, I recommend pausing the video and trying all the problems yourself first before you see me solve them. Without wasting any time, let's get into it. Question 32 says, one of the following is the equation of this graph in the standard xy coordinate plane. Which one? So for this question, what I would do is I would pick a point on the graph. So let's go with 0, 6. And what I would do is I would plug 0 into each of these equations and see which one gives me 6. If one of them gives me 6 and the other 3 don't, then I'll know it's that equation, the one that gives me 6, right? And if I get multiple equations that give me 6, then I'll plug in another point until I can narrow it down to one equation. So let's plug in 0 for x into all these equations. So y equals 4, 0 minus 4, which is negative 4 minus 2. This is equal to 4 times 1 over 4 raised to the power of 4, right? Let's see exponent property. Minus 2. And then you get 4 times 1 over 4 raised to the power of 4, which is 256, minus 2. 4 times 1 over 256, well, that's 4 over 256 minus 2, right? And this is less than 1. And something less than 1 minus 2, this is going to be negative. So it's not the A. Let's move on to B, which says 4 times 4. And if I plug in 0, I get 2 plus 4, right? Remember, this is 4 times 4 raised to the power of 2 is 16. And remember, we're looking for 6. 4 times 16 is 64, plus 4, 64 plus 4, that is 68, right? And that does not match what we're looking for. We're looking for 6. On to the next one. 4 log 4, negative 4 minus 2. Well, this is going to be undefined because remember, log 4, negative 4, that's not even possible because 4 raised to the power of anything, it can't be negative. It's always going to be positive. So that means this is undefined, which means this whole thing is undefined. And we're looking for 6, not undefined. So it's not C either, and it wasn't B. This means our answer is going to be D, and let's just double check that. 4 log 4, if I plug in 0, it's going to be 2 plus 4. So I get log 4, 2, that is 1/2. 4 times 1/2 plus 4, so that is 2 plus 4. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So, yeah. So for this problem, just remember to pick a point and plug it into the equations, and you'll figure out which equation matches the graph. On to the next question, question 44, which says if 49 raised to the power of a equals 7, and 3 raised to the power of a plus b equals 81, then what does b equal? So for this problem, what I would do is solve for a first. So we have 49 raised to the power of a equals 7. We can solve for a by replacing 49 with 7 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of a equals 7. And according to the exponent property, you just multiply the exponents. So it's going to be 7 raised to the power of 2 times a, right? And this equals 7. Remember, 7 raised to the power of 1 is the same thing as 7. And now, since we have the same bases, we can set the exponents equal to each other. So a equals 1/2, right? And now, since we know what a is, we can plug it in to this equation. But first, it tells us that 3 raised to the power of a plus b equals 81. And remember that 3 raised to the power of 4 equals 81, right? So this means that a plus b has to equal 4. And now we can plug in 1/2 for a. So you have 1/2 plus b equals 4. And if I solve for b, I get 4 minus 1/2. Remember, 4 can be rewritten as 8/2. 8/2 minus 1/2. That equals 7/2. So B is 7/2, which matches answer choice K. On to question 52, which says the average of 10 test scores is X. When the highest test score and lowest score, when the highest score and lowest score are removed from the 10 scores, the average is Y. Which of the following is an expression for the average of the highest score and the lowest score? So for this question, what you need to remember is that the total of number of test scores total sum divided by your number of test scores equals your average test score, right? The average of the number of scores, number of test scores. So we can use this formula, and I'll show you how. So we know that the total of 10 test scores divided by 10 equals X, right? So we know that the total sum of 10 test scores is equal to 10 times X, right? Because we can multiply by 10 to both sides to figure out that 10 times X equals the total sum of the 10 test scores. The next step is we can use the same thing, same logic, to figure out the total sum of 8 test scores. And why 8? Well, it tells us that when the highest and lowest score are removed from the 10 scores, the average is Y. So that means since we got rid of 2 test scores, there's only 8 left, right? So we can just use that formula again. So we have total of 8 test scores, total sum of 8 test scores, divided by 8 equals Y. And same thing, we know that the total sum of 8 test scores is 8Y, right? Now, why is this important? Well, remember, it's asking us which of the following is an expression for the average of the highest score and the lowest score. Remember, to find the average of the highest score and lowest score, you're going to add, you need the sum of the highest and lowest score. And you're going to divide that by the number of tests, right? The test scores, the number of test scores, which is 2, and that will get you your average. So now what we can do is the total sum of 10 test scores is 10x. This included the highest and lowest score, right? This is the total sum of 8 test scores, which did not include the highest and lowest score, but it included all the other test scores. So to figure out the total sum of the highest and lowest score, you would just do 10x minus 8y. And we can plug that in up here. So you get 10x minus 8y over 2 equals your average of the highest score and the lowest score, right? And this matches answer choice J. So for this problem, just remember this formula really comes in handy. I hope my explanations made sense, and thank you for watching.